And I think that that's such a key aspect about building an art career, is having a community of other artists that are cheering you on, because so many people in our lives who are not artists or in these kind of industry, they don't really understand what it takes and what it's like.
Welcome to another episode of BenchTalk. I'm your host, Tom Gerrard. This week, I've got another episode where Claire Bradshaw from the Art Career Academy is here with us. It's a very timely episode for me. I've just had my latest solo show at Lennox Street Gallery, 20-shot sequence, has just opened last week. And I've been in full exhibition prep mode for nearly a year. But on the lead up, it gets a lot more intense, and it really takes up a lot of, I guess, time and headspace. And so that's the subject that we're going to tackle today, like just all the little bits and pieces to consider and think about when putting on an exhibition from an artist's point of view. And we're just going to dive into that. So how you going, Claire? Thanks
Yeah,
for joining
great.
us.
Thanks. Yeah, great to be here. So imagine this. You've got an exhibition coming up, so huge congratulations. But you're probably sitting there thinking, now what? Whether you've done, whether this is the first time that you've done an exhibition or it's the third time you've done it, you may feel a little bit of overwhelm. And you may be thinking, what do I actually really need to do? You've got lots of things swirling around in your head. So how do you actually make sure that this exhibition actually builds your career instead of it just being a one-off event? And so that's what Tom and I really want to chat to you about today, is a system in which you can start to apply to ensure that you have smooth, stress-free exhibitions that are professional. They create buzz for you, they attract collectors, and they actually open doors to future opportunities. So if you've ever felt kind of disorganized or stressed leading up to a show, then this is what we're going to be talking about today so that you can move forward with a lot more confidence. All right, so we're going to do question and answer today. So Tom, I'm going to start off with the first question. I'm going to split this into 4 different parts. So we're going to start off with talking about the kind of pre-exhibition side of things. So Tom, what was the biggest mistake that you have seen from other artists, maybe you've made it yourself as well, when preparing for an exhibition?
There's so many different avenues I could go down here. I guess the big one is preparation, but preparation comes in many forms. One's like a timely thing. Like I like to give myself lots of time to prepare for an exhibition, because I know as an artist, if you're all in and all you're doing is preparing for an exhibition, then you're not really making any other money. And then it's like you got to pay for life and all the other things that come with it. So you need to actually space to be able to work on your exhibition, and then also be doing other projects and other ways of generating an income as an artist. So I think I'm starting as early as possible is a really good idea. Like I have left it to the last minute in the past and been cramming. I've got a lot better at that. Like now with a solo show, I always start a year before the opening night. So I give myself a full year to work on a solo show. And that doesn't mean that I'm working intensely the whole time at it. I might even put it down for 2 or 3 months while I focus on other projects, but it is being chipped away at. It is in my mind all the time. Another big thing I feel is like preparing the space. Like I usually get in there and work out the floor plan of the gallery before I've even started painting for it, and just work out a few, couple of small pieces on here, one large piece there, and just start getting a flow for what the show could look like and having a quantity of pieces. Because some people, I've seen some artists just rock up with a bunch of artworks and hope that they fit. And you can either end up with not enough artwork or too much artwork. And it can be frustrating from either way, So there's some really big ones. I think, but the main one is the timing, I think, is the essential one, because, it can, you want to do the best job possible, and you want to put your best foot forward and put your best artwork out there, and you need time to be able to do that. because
Mm.
otherwise you end up finishing off paintings and going, well, I guess that'll do. And you don't want to put that'll do artwork out there into the world. You want to put absolute bangers out there and be able to look at them and go, yeah, each one of these has its place in this show, you know.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Mm,
And
mm,
something that I have noticed as well, not putting any time for marketing.
mm,
And so, when you're kind of busy just focusing on the artwork, which of course so much energy goes into creating amazing artwork and the presentation of that artwork. But if there's no time or consideration put into the marketing, then people don't know about it. And you really want to have, a great time at your opening and then have a flurry of people coming through over the few weeks or the period of time that you're running the show. So I think that that's a key thing as well. And it's not just about marketing the opening night, but it's about the pre-marketing of like creating anticipation is such a big part of it. And then also continuing on that marketing throughout the exhibition. You're not creating that body of work just for one night. And I think that's a really important thing. And I think the other thing, Tom, is like there's a difference, right, between whether you have like gallery representation or you're working with a gallery who's kind of doing a whole heap of work to support you versus if you're putting on a show on your own, whether it's, with like, an empty space or it's an existing gallery space that you're hiring, there's many more considerations as well that are going to have to take place for that
mm.
planning side of things, right?
Definitely. Yeah. And I feel that one thing I have noticed is when artists work with galleries who, the galleries take their commission and, they earn that. And some artists think, well, the galleries take their commission, so I'm just going to step back and just let them do everything. And I don't know, I feel like it's a collaboration and you got to pull your weight and you need to be marketing the exhibition and the gallery as much as the gallery markets you and the exhibition. So, yeah, I feel that, the marketing side is a really big thing. And I like what you said as well about like, building up, like letting people know there is something coming. There's like snippets of your paintings and things like, working on a new show at this gallery coming up in a few months, and just be taking people along for the ride because then when, like people put it in their calendar, save the date, all that type of stuff and comes to opening night and they're there, yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah, for sure. Like that excitement, anticipation is such a huge part of it. So, yeah, great. And so, walk us through your timeline. So, when do you start preparing, and what are some of the key milestones that you're working towards as you're preparing for your exhibition?
The first thing I work on is like I get the floor plan all drawn up so I know the size of the walls I'm working on. But the most important part is working on a theme. Now, so it depends on the type of artist you are, but I've like the first couple of exhibitions I did early in my career, it was more like just paint, 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 paint in the studio. All these artworks are piling up around me. Oh, I've got enough for a solo show, have a show, and then do it all over again. But what I've realized is the most effective way to have an exhibition is to have a theme, have a like go in there with a cohesive body of work and actually paint to a theme for the exhibition, especially. And that's one of the first things I do. And sometimes it takes me months to actually nail the concept. Like with this latest show that I did, I went down 3 different avenues and made multiple paintings in different avenues that weren't the final direction I took this exhibition in. And, at first I remember thinking, oh, am I wasting my, like, can I try and work out a way to cram them in there, because I've spent the time making these paintings. But I realized that, to do this right, I need to actually have a solid concept and something that I really want to paint, not something that works for 1 or 2 paintings, but you don't really want to do 30 paintings in that style. You want to find something that you're really excited about and then that actually works as a cohesive body of work that's not going to bore people and all that. You can do 30 different variations within this style and create that work. So yeah, so I think, yeah, with so as far as other timings as well, Just trying to think. I usually just make a list of all the paintings I want to make. So, and it doesn't have to be the exact like what's going to be contained within the imagery, but it's more thinking about the price points you want to hit. Now, different people are looking for different size artworks for different shaped walls and working with different budgets and all that type of stuff. So you want to sort of cater to everyone. And I think it's important to have at least one feature piece in an exhibition, sometimes two. And when I say by feature piece, I mean like a big banger, like something that's, your major work for the show. A lot of people call them. And then you can have some that are a bit smaller, which you can call like the major ones could be an extra large painting. Then the smaller ones could be large, and then medium, and then small, and even extra small if you want, or even a print edition. Like something that caters to a lot of different price points, I think is a really good way to approach an exhibition. Because everyone's looking for different things. Like if you did all like very tall, narrow paintings and that's all there was, but someone wanted one for above their sofa at home, it's not going to fit. They're like, I want one, but I need a different shape. So just things like that, just catering for different price points, but not going too far with it as well. It's a fine line. You want it to all sort of be cohesive and work together. But sometimes for some people, it's just a format. Like say some people might just go, oh, everything's going to be square. I'm only working with squares, no rectangles, no circles, nothing like that. It's all square artworks, and that could be the theme that they're going for. So yeah. So it
Yeah,
could
I
be,
think
as I said, it's a vague subject, and there's so many different ways you can take it. But you got to do something that works for you.
yeah, exactly. It is a very personal thing.
Mm.
I think that, if you look at it also from a market opportunity, if you're going into having an exhibition and you're also wanting to sell the works, right? That to consider the price points that you're hitting and ensuring that you are, like what Tom was saying, is that you are capturing different levels of the market that love your work. And, obviously that is a very individual thing because everyone's pricing is going to be different. Everyone's market is going to be different, all of that type of thing. Where you exhibit has a huge impact on things as well. So different considerations, but something that, Tom was considering for this show was because there have been some shifts and some changes in the marketplace over the last few years. Something that he hasn't previously done that he did this time around was to do a print edition. So previously he's not done a print edition at a show, but this time he did. But he looked to do a print edition that was a little bit different, had a little bit of something that made it special, that was different to print editions that he may do, say, on his online store and site. Did you want to talk to that at all, Tom?
Yeah, I guess I really wanted to do a ready to hang print edition. So I did some wooden panels with the print attached to them, then resined over the top. And I outsourced this and got a company to make them for me. And I just felt they had I've never worked with resin before, and I really liked the overall look of it. I thought it was I just thought they came out great. I just didn't want to be selling prints in tubes. I just know that people quite often will buy a print and never frame it, So I want something that people can like take away from the gallery and hang directly on their wall. And that was where my thinking was at. And then I started to really look around at different options for that. And I landed on this one. And I'm really happy with the results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. And do you have like a kind of a must-have checklist before opening night? Are there some specific things that you're like, make sure that you do this before opening night that's really helped you?
Yeah, I guess the big ones around marketing. I'll contact all my collectors directly, and whether it's either Instagram or an email, or some of them I've got their phone number and I'll text them or whatever. But just be sending through the invite and giving personal invites to people who have supported my career, and even people who haven't just supported it financially, but people who have shown interest and supported me in other ways, and just say, look, I'd like to invite you, because these people all spread the word for you, and also telling your other artist friends and all sorts of stuff, like really getting the word out there. And through personal invites, people people take them personally. It's not you're not just posting a flyer on Instagram and hoping for the best. Other people share it for you. You tap into other people's markets because they're and followers and all that because they're sharing your event, which is really cool. And yeah, I think that's a real big one to make sure that everyone's been contacted, and then I guess more just checking in with, I guess, myself and how I feel going into it because it's pretty nerve-wracking putting on a show. Like, this is my first solo in 2 years, and I must admit I was a bit nervous on the opening night. I remember the afternoon I was pacing around the studio, a couple of hours from leaving, just going, "Gee, I'm actually a bit nervous," and really sort of grounding myself and making sure that when I'm in there, I'm actually receiving all the I don't know, everyone's excitement and everything, just being in the best version of myself on the night, I guess is a good way to say it. I remember there's been ones in the past where I've been quite nervous, and they've got the open bar at at the gallery, and you start like sort of pounding beers and wines and stuff, thinking that it's going to calm your nerves, but you end up saying the wrong thing to people and not being the best version of yourself. So I think it's very important to just show up calm and be approachable because you're going to be speaking to a lot of people who you've never met before. And you want to be the sort of person that they want to follow up with and, maybe do projects with and all sorts of stuff. So, I don't think getting drunk's the right answer for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And we have quite a few techniques, don't we? Like that we use, like mindfulness and meditation and stuff like that, that can really help to just
Mm,
calm your nerves beforehand.
mm,
Because yeah, that being state, how you're being is really important.
yeah.
Cool. So yeah, that visibility piece and getting the word out there and those personal invitations. And I know that you also send emails out as well. You have an email list and send those out too, as well. So you have different touch points. And then of course you're working with the galleries, so then they do a whole lot of promotion as well. And it's that kind of combination of all of that.
Mm,
And then also like what you were saying is that because you've created such a great art community and art friends and connections over the years, you had so many. It was so lovely to see so many of your artist friends all shared about your exhibition. And I think that that's such a key aspect about building an art career is having a community of other artists that are cheering you on, because so many people in our lives who are not artists or in these kind of industry, they don't really understand what it takes and what it's like. So I
mm.
think that that was so cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one thing I love about being an artist and being surrounded by other artists and creatives. It's like I just don't see any competitiveness in there. Like no, some
Mm.
people may think that way, like some people are stealing sales from them or their art looks too similar or anything like that. But I just feel that where like when you can show up and be in a collaborative way and all helping each other rise up is the best way to approach it. And I feel that I'm surrounded by so many people who are like that and very grateful for it.
Yeah.
Coming from
And it's something that you prioritized. Like
it
you've
is,
worked on
it
it
is.
for years,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah,
not something that you have overnight, but it's something that you've prioritized and you built over time, which is really
exactly,
cool.
exactly.
Okay, so you've spoken a bit about like mindset on opening night and kind of showing up in the right way. Was there anything more you want to say about that, or should we keep moving?
Now let's keep moving. Yeah.
So how do you maintain the momentum during the show? So what we've noticed is often, artists, they put so much work into the work, and then, they promote the show on the opening night, and then it's like, oh, they're so exhausted that then they can kind of lose that momentum and then kind of go quiet on it. But there may be another couple of weeks left of the show. How do you maintain that momentum?
Yeah, I completely agree. Like it's the exhibition's for the duration of the exhibition, not just the opening night. Because it's really important to get as many eyes on your artwork as possible. I feel like I want people standing in the gallery looking at my artwork in the flesh and feeling the energy, because we view so much on screen now and you just can't compare the two. It's you're always going to have a much better experience viewing artwork in the gallery. So like I usually do an artist talk in the second week of the exhibition. So I've actually got one coming up this Saturday, Lennox Street Gallery, as part of the Richmond Art Walk, 11 a.m. artist talk. Come down if you're if you're in the neighbourhood. But yeah, I think that's a good way of doing it. Like just sort of sparking up, giving someone a reason to come back into the gallery and see it. They want to find out a bit more about it because it's not the sort of thing you're doing at opening night. And yeah, something like some people do closing nights as well. So it's like get more people into the gallery and celebrate the finale of the exhibition. There's things like that. Yeah, I know I've seen people do video tours, so maybe just for Instagram or also for YouTube, and they're walking around the exhibition showing off the work and then, getting some eyes on it that way, but then maybe enticing people who live in that city to go in and view it in the flesh. There's so many ways of going about it. And also, like a big one as well is I always hire a photographer to document the exhibition for me, and then I use those photos to continually promote the exhibition because yeah, that's a really good way of doing it. Yeah. Anything
Yeah.
else you can think I'm leaving off?
No, I think you covered it off. I think,
Mm.
I like you were saying, having professional documentation is a huge part of it. And so then you've got those visual that visual documentation that shows your work in the best way possible. And you also got profile shots as well with the work. So then you can post that on your social media, but then you've also got that for your website and to send to galleries and things like that. So yeah, it's an incredible opportunity where your work is singing in a cohesive way to make sure that you document all of that.
Yeah,
Love
like
it.
I'm a big fan of like hiring a photographer, even if you pay them in a piece of artwork or whatever your budget is, or if you can find a friend who does it. And I know even today before we're doing this interview, I was like sending out photos from a previous exhibition because I've got really good photos of it, and sending them out applying for things, and they just keep coming in handy like time and time again. Yeah, they're a real asset to growing your art business. And then also when you don't have exhibitions and things on, you can show that that's things that you have done, and it's a really important thing. You know.
Yeah, for sure, for
Mm.
sure. And I think, if you're running a show yourself and you're putting it on yourself, then ensuring that you have a way to capture email addresses so that you can, those people who've shown real interest in your work, that you have a way in which to stay in contact with them is really, really important. And then also the follow-up. So if you're running a show yourself, ensuring that yeah, you're connecting with people who like in an online way, whether it's email, whether it's on social media, and particularly if they've shown interest in certain works, making sure that you follow up with them. So that you kind of keep that communication going and keep that relationship going. It's really important.
Sure is.
Cool. All right. Anything else you wanted to add, Tom?
Um, Not really. I guess I'll just finish by saying that I feel that lots of artists approach their careers in different ways. But I feel that putting on a solo show and working for a decent amount of time on it and really applying yourself is a really important thing for an artist. It's important for creative growth. It's important for marketing and putting yourself out there. It's important for the art world seeing you in a certain light and then opportunities opening up. And yeah, I think that any artist who's been working for long enough and maybe has a few group shows under their belt, it's something to really consider doing. And one more point that's just popped into my mind that we haven't really covered off in this podcast is around the presentation of the artworks as well. I think you can't underestimate how important it is to present your artworks in a professional manner using quality materials. Because people are buying this artwork and taking it into their houses, and it's going to live on walls for potentially decades. and you want it to be able to hold up. Really, you want the paint, if it's in the sunlight, you want it to not fade. You want frames that aren't going to sag and warp. You want all these types of things. You want canvas that's not going to go like all floppy. You want to make sure that everything's using quality materials, and then if you're worried about the price of them, you add that to the price of the artwork. And there's a reason that artwork's expensive. It's because there's lots of people are taking different parts of commission, and there's lots of expenses involved with it. And yeah, it's something to really consider. So yeah.
Yeah. And it's backing yourself. So Tom and I often talk about this, when you're putting on an exhibition and you're getting the materials and you're framing your artworks, it's like, see it as an investment. You are investing in these artworks and you're backing yourself in your career, and so rather than seeing it as a cost to your business, start to see it as an investment, and that this artwork is going to continue to live on for, as Tom's saying, for decades. So really treat it with that respect that it deserves.
Yep. All righty.
Cool. All right. So to recap on what we've spoken about. So I think the key things that I was taking from that is really to start early with your preparation and to create buzz before your show. So showing people, the process that you're taking and, build up that anticipation and that excitement through your marketing, as well as, everything that you're documenting. And then, prepare yourself, showing up confidently. So doing what you need to do so that you're going into this exhibition feeling your best. And something that we didn't really speak about here, but as part of that preparation thing, is something Tom always talks about is, letting go of your attachment to the outcome on sales. Because that can kind of have us spiraling a little bit from a mindset perspective. And if you can go into it feeling really proud of the work that you have put together and knowing that you've really done your part, and then letting go of your attachment, you'll have a much, much better experience of your show.
Exactly.
And then always follow up. So if you're running your own show, always follow up with people and think about this as a long-term thing. It's about long-term relationships, and everything builds on top of everything else. So if you're thinking, okay, great, but how do I actually create the buzz and attract collectors before the exhibition? We actually have a free resource that we would love to give to you. So we will put the link down below, and you'll be able to access that. It's a visibility guide, and it's really built from, aspects of Tom's career, and also how we help our artists and how they are building, greater connections with collectors, and then also gallery opportunities as well. So yeah, grab that and get started. So this has been a great discussion, Tom. Thank you so much for being so generous with all of your knowledge and sharing something that's so current right now for you.
Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah, and if anyone's based in Melbourne and they want to see my show, it's called 20 Shot Sequence. It's currently on at Lennox Street Gallery in Richmond, and the show's open till November 29th. And yeah, also just want to take this time to say I've taking a break from the podcast, and I'm going to take the rest of the year off. So thanks for tuning in this year, and I've it has been a great year of Bench Talk, and I'm looking forward to what 2026 has in store. All right. See you later.